Hospital, 923045.
Alpha team, this is Echo team. Level 1 is clear. Copy that, Echo. Proceed with caution. 10-4. Alpha team, this is Echo team. 75 subject, 1096. It seems to be eating another person. 26. Copy Echo team, 10-0. Keep an eye out on your 6. Where there's one, there's more. Delta team, 2-3 backup requested with full riot gear. Situation is 1034. Copy that, Delta team.
5 affirmative, break, medevac 39, advisory 97 times 39.
Oh, and we lost one of our horsemen during the intro.
Oh, snap. He'll be back.
Oh, there he is.
We're all busy men. We're all
He'll be
busy.
back. See, there
busy
he is.
men.
I told you he'd be back.
The pestilence needed to be delivered somewhere.
Doing his thing,
I
bro.
know where it's going.
Yeah, I had to go across the globe real quick.
Everybody, all of us been working overtime these days. I don't know if you guys seen the news or kept up on current events, but we're fucking tired right about now.
I'm telling you.
All four of us, man. Like
The
we've
horse
been
needs watering, bro.
putting in
Yes.
work.
I'm telling you. Jeez. You know, I didn't have multiple wars on my bingo card this
Especially,
year.
like, they got him flying from country to country, violating fucking motherfuckers' airspace and shit. Fucking
know.
just doing
Yeah.
impossible
Oh.
schedule that he is somehow, of course, in his
And
own
then
fashion.
little
keeping
civil
up with.
wars in Africa that nobody's talked about yet.
Told you
It's
he'd
like-
say it. I was like, he's probably been to Africa too. I said it when we were in the garage.
Yeah,
showing
he did.
before.
He did. He did.
Been there. I'm back.
So you
It
think like
is.
your favorite rock band, like would Van Halen play on every 7 continents or something? Pete
Yeah.
has been like around the planet 3 times today.
I'm telling you.
bro.
It's just bad. It's just bad, man.
Real.
Gentlemen, we have a full house today.
Awesome.
Welcome,
Trent
man.
has been making people sick.
Why don't you?
Like he just goes there.
Well, he's taking a break until the fall when flu season comes back.
Yeah.
when he
That's
walks through the grocery store, he goes down the aisle and all of a sudden you just hear people like coughing and hacking behind him. Like
He's like, it just reaches over and touches the cheese, and he's like, salmonella.
Salmonella for you.
Salmonella.
Salmonella for you.
we're gonna need a recall.
Yes.
Trent was in the store.
Yes.
Well, gentlemen, I'm sure everyone knows who all of us are. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves and just say hello to everybody?
Well, you're first in the order that I'm looking at it here, Livingston, man. So
Do you
go
read
for-
right to left or something? 'Cause
Yeah.
To me, that'd be the Roman proper. But at any rate, I'm a Livingston man. I point out shit like that.
Yeah, I am Mike. Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival. We do the prepping and survival stuff.
Yes.
Maybe the
Vision
height of us.
preparedness. I do the preparedness stuff, and I bring you botulism.
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 Right in the honey. Go keep putting that in your tea, bro. It's fine.
Yeah, it's delicious. It's delicious.
Cool. Well, gentlemen, there are so many things to talk about this week.
No doubt.
And I guess we all knew at some point Israel and Iran was going to run out of proxies and they were going to go at it.
Mhm.
And so here we are today and all the craziness. So guys, I'm going to start. I have 3 questions for tonight, and at least 2 of them are absolutely going to go down rabbit holes. So
Okay.
I'm just going to throw them out there, starting with, will the situation in the Middle East spill over? And if so, how?
Oh, that's a tough one, man. There's so many different ways this could go. Livingston, man, I do believe you were the first to introduce, so you might as well.
Always got to go first.
Yeah,
All
take the helm here,
right. You want
homie.
a fucking hot take? Burn after this. Will the situation in the Middle East spill over? Because I speak perfect
And
English.
how?
Will the situation in the Middle East spill over?
And how?
Well, yeah, it always does. And even in economic terms, like already the price of oil and gas is like kind of creeping up a little bit. The stock market's being like it's fluctuating based on what's going on over there. I always say, like, you know, all it takes for y'all crypto bros is one guy with an RPG to like fucking ruin somebody's day, and all of a sudden that shit ain't worth nothing no more. For reasons that make sense to no one, but it still is the thing. Also, all of this proxy war, if you will, creates enemies, collateral damage enemies. Like this is exactly why this cycle perpetuates, because of these sort of wars of indiscriminate, like basically based on ideological grounds. Like these fucking people just fucking literally hate each other. It's not really politics. It's a complete rejection of each other's
existence.
Viewpoint. There's not a lot to work with when you're trying to reconcile something like this. So when you know, the 5-year-old child you've seen on CNN who's like apartment complex in Gaza got leveled by Israel, but what he found was like a piece of metal from that missile that said made in the USA. You breed a whole new generation of adversaries on both sides, and cycle is violently and toxically perpetual. So yes, it will. You're going to see where, again, like Americans got to be under State Department watch notices, like don't go to this place, don't go to that place. You already got Trump, and then fine, then them people can't come here either. What is even happening in the world right now? But it's all stemming not just from the Middle East, which is going to spill over. It already has. It's dominated the talking. It's dominated the conversation since it started happening. Interesting spin has been being put on it. Very much watch out for AI generated content that is not exactly what it says it is. Everybody, I know we like watching the Facebook reels and you're like, oh, look at the missiles going up. Like, I guarantee you, just go in your Grok or your Chat GPT and tell it to make you a fucking missile video, and it will. All right. So just be careful with what you think is like real, and like there's going to be a lot of disinformation being thrown out by everybody right now, because that's the first rule, is bring everybody into line and make them believe in our cause and hate theirs.
That's part of the warfare.
Disinformation. It's one of the new 5. It used to be used to be war was like 3-dimensional. Now it's like they can just make the shit up. It's like fucking, it's helical. It's fucking weird shit.
The misinformation they were doing back, or disinformation they were doing back in World War II.
They can call you and make this thing blow up in your face, bro.
Yeah.
Well, the Mossad.
Well, like making the Germans believe we were landing in France, but not in Normandy, and
always warfare. True warfare is at first and foremost based off deception.
Oh yeah.
Lie. Rule 1. There's 3 rules to warfare: lie, cheat, and steal. Lie being number 1. So just, you know, for everybody, for all the truthers and shit, like, I'm just saying, like, you know, what you need is a shaker of faith, a shaker of salt, and you have to like throw like both of them at everything these days.
Don't literally throw shakers of salt at people in the store. Although that would be funny.
Have we tried it?
Arm yourselves with shakers.
Makes me wonder.
Salt.
Adjust your chakras, like, but also from across the room, like, bang, you get hit with a salt shaker.
That really ruined your night.
The Livingston man.
That could ruin your night.
For sure.
But I digress. The situation in the Middle East will indeed spill over, and I would
for generations to come, apparently. I
would posit that it already has, and will escalate. And right now, I don't see an off-ramp to what's going on here. At this point, I think, like, and I've always kind of been with the Middle East, as long as everybody's reined in and like it's not gonna spill over too far.
Right.
Let the boys fight.
Just let them figure it out.
Because I just think that there is no other path forward for either side. Children, both of you are just awful.
Yeah.
Yep.
Agreed. So I guess, will the situation spill over? Yes, but I think maybe in a different way. I think Israel can't finish this without American hardware and the aircraft to deliver it. Right? They literally have to blow up a mountain in order to defeat Iran totally. Right? They need a Moab or a FOAB or the biggest boom boom we got. Yeah, they need bunker buster bombs in order to quote unquote finish this. So they need the United States to finish this.
They're actually tungsten penetrators. They drop them from a great height, and it's kinetic energy alone
that takes them down.
It's like getting hit with an artificial meteor.
Rods of God, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
The Odin concept.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like a targeted meteor. If you could just get somebody. Sorry, I had to chime in there.
So they totally need us to finish this.
Yeah.
And I think that is going to bring a lot of attention to the United States. Is Iran going to hit us directly? Absolutely not. I don't think they have the capability to hit U.S. soil unless there's sleeper cells here, unless their electronic army can still garner some capability to the internet and, maybe wreak some havoc with cyber attacks and things like that. I know the Syrian electronic army was pretty serious back in the day, and they still exist today. And I'm sure that they're like, yo, we got you, homie. We'll help you out. And I'm sure there's a lot of people, China, who have the capability to do that on behalf of their friend who's getting their ass kicked over there right now. So I think it might spill over cyber wise. And I think that might bring it home. So that's my yes and how.
And you're absolutely right. Yes, it will spill over. And how? I'll keep it short because what Mike said is absolutely correct. And I think it will spill over to the U.S. via proxy, whether it's cyber, whether it's literally on our soil, because we have so many entities in this country that are not of U.S. citizenship that could deliver the necessary information to do damage on our soil.
Mm-hmm. That's so I did I'll post it again. I did a survey. I had a survey running as everyone came into the chat.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, what concerns you the most right now? And the Iran-Israel was 51% of the votes, is 40 votes.
Mm.
And then domestic riots were right behind it at 38%.
Yeah.
So, and those two, like what Trent just said, they absolutely could get tied together because you're creating that next generation. But they're here. There are people here. We don't know who they are.
Right.
So, Trent, on that note, what are your thoughts domestically? What should we be doing different? And then what should preppers be doing since we really don't control this, but we're stuck with the results?
Yeah. Well, like I just, the live I just did kind of indirectly talked about that. What are your alternative plans? And I used allegedly the analogy of if this war spills over into our own country, do your alternative plans change? And if so, think about how and why. I truly believe that, and I pray that I'm 100,000,000% wrong, that there will be some type of attack in this country if this truly spills over and goes to the magnitude that it could. And I think it'll be done by proxy because, Iran can't hit us, but all of their so-called allies are either here or already in our infrastructure. So, yeah.
So, Mike, Lou, what do you think? What should preppers be doing right now, based
I
on what
think-
you guys are seeing?
So I kind of started a without rule of law percentage meter, right? And I've been asking some questions. I've been probing the community to see what they say. Gnostic had a really good point that it varies on demographic, right? So if you're closer to a big population center, I'm going to say your without rule of law in the major cities is 30% at this point. I'm going to say across the nation, we're about little over 20% without rule of law across the board. Your rural areas, 5% or less, and your suburban areas, 10% without rule of law.
What are you basing this?
Okay, so I'll
off
base
of?
this off of lawlessness in the riots that we see in Los Angeles almost daily, right? The uprisings. We literally had political assassinations in the United States of America
on the rise
just a couple of weeks ago.
Not only actual but attempted. That is the deeply disturbing part of it for me.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, so we're just doing this now.
The fabric of society is tearing apart. So I see it and I say that it's getting worse. I think the best thing you can do now without freaking out is inventory your preps, right? See what you have, know where you're at, know what you're lacking, and get working on that stuff. I think that's the best advice I could give you. If that no comms plan that you've been talking about that you haven't done yet, do it. Talk to your family, make a no comms plan. That's like one of the second things that goes in any kind of warfare is communications are out the window. So you need to know where to go when all that stuff fails. I think that's the best advice I could give right now, man. Just keep a cool head, keep your ear to the ground, right? Because make some trigger events, man. If you guys don't have trigger events, like if this happens, I'm going to do that. You really need to sit down and think about it, write it all down on a piece of paper, and then burn it in the fire after you're done making decisions. But write it down and at least have an idea of, hey, if a nuke is detonated in Iran or Israel, I am going to do A, B, and C. Right?
Let's throw a fucking steak on the grill, dude. Like, whatever. Crack
Throw a tie on the grill.
The uranium ribeye.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Throw a
it's
tie on the
delicious.
grill.
The sunset that night's going to be my last, but it's going to be beautiful.
There you go. Got to finish the beer, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, I didn't buy this 12-pack to die trying, okay? If you were to really, and I don't want to stereotype or sound like some kind of like I'm whatever, like, but it's always the Middle East though, ain't it? And what I need to remind everybody, I don't know how young and old everybody is in here, but there was this thing called like 9/11. And then there was the global response to it, the GWAT, Global War on Terror, you might see it called the GWAT. And we were presented with the same arguments. Oh, they had the weapon, especially this weapons of mass destruction, bro. Do they have them? Well, no, but maybe they do. I don't know. We need to get in there. And like, this is the same shit. The whole world came out against it last time. The whole world couldn't come out against it this time. But it would seem that a concentrated yet very powerful and affluent race of beings can, in fact, disregard the other 8 billion people on the planet and do this anyway, even though every single time the entire world, left, right, black, white, everybody says no, like to war. We're like, we got to have it, man. And you're like, okay. So they sweep you up in this patriotic fervor fueled by AI propaganda, and you get behind it in one way or the other. They got to bring you along. They got to pull that nose ring, bro. Cause otherwise you'd be like, fuck that. So perhaps I
Ozzy sung about it. War pigs, man.
I challenge the viewer as much as myself to like say fuck that. And I'm going to use words you've heard me say before. Secessio plebis. if the rich and the fucking extremely powerful want to fucking continue their wars, then they can pay for it and they can fight each other, because us, we just going to go have a cookout in the streets. We ain't coming to work until you children are done doing whatever it is you're doing here.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
It could be awesome. It's right there, because you know what you got to do? All you have to do
Nothing.
is nothing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Don't
Except
even
for
get out of bed.
yourself, your neighbor, and your friend.
Yep. Everybody come down with the blue flu and just stay home. Sorry, I got the blue flu.
And unfortunately, I understand. I mean, victory requires sacrifice. And are we the people? Aren't we supposed to be in charge when all of us across the whole spectrum say
Well,
no?
You know, Livingston, man, it comes to a point where you are either going to sacrifice potentially yourself and your life, or potentially your children's lives in a war, or sacrifice some finances, maybe a job right now, to make sure that that doesn't happen. I mean, is that that's kind of where we are, folks? You know, we are. They can't finish this without us.
Secessio plebis was successful every time it was implemented, because the rich and powerful need to be reminded actually who does what.
Yeah.
Without us, and I'm certain that I speak for at least like 97% of the chat and this panel, that I have more in common with these so-called illegal Mexicans than I do with any upper crust of America at all. Okay. Like, just because I'm white and speak English,
you are the
that's
cogs.
not the end
You're
all.
the cogs that
that's
make
not
the
end
wheels
all
turn.
to me. Like,
And
you know,
well, you look out here at the work crews, man. It's all Mexicans. It's all the great grandchildren of the Buffalo soldiers and a bunch of white guys. It's all these. And
I work on a
there's
horse farm in a,
racial stuff here because we're all working out in the same place.
no, there is. I work on a Hudson Valley horse farm, like / estate, and there's 3 white people that work there, and the rest of them are so-called minorities, which is an oxymoron, because I am the minority, and I am surrounded by and these people, I consider them my brothers and sisters. We do the same work, and it's not about fucking where you came from and what color your skin is or what kind of accent you have. It's your lifestyle. These are like, I have more in common with, like I said, your so-called illegal immigrant, I have a feeling, than all these upper crust people telling me that I should hate them.
Yeah, it's weird watching. And then when people show up in those neighborhoods, you get kicked the hell out quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you saw what happened at Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah,
right?
Glaring
Me
example.
amo, buena suerte. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Are we like the White Hodge twins? Anybody?
The White Hodge twins. I would love to meet.
Nobody
the
ever
Hodge
thought
twins,
about
by
that?
the way.
Yeah.
But you got to
Man,
grow bigger beards, though.
I think it's important
Already wearing
not
too
to
much.
be too distracted by what's going on across the pond right now. It's important to pay attention to it.
Yep.
But domestic issues are most likely to affect you here at home in the big term, right?
Yep.
The Strait of Hormuz closing and fuel not getting through and things like that are in a couple of weeks. That's going to affect us, but the domestic stuff can affect you right now.
Yeah.
You know, if rioters set your main street on fire, that's a problem right now. So something to think about, man. Keep your eye close to home and don't let the distractions far away blind you from the things going on right in your backyard.
Yep.
No, for sure. All right, gentlemen. So I figured we'd wind up going down some rabbit holes with that particular question. I've got question 2 for you. This one's going to be on the other side of the world.
Okay.
Was the murder of politicians by someone allegedly in their own party a sign of a purge? Is something going on within the politics of America?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
This one's deep. I think that this was the work of a deranged individual. I didn't read because what you don't want to do is give attention to this kind of shit. This is what breeds this behavior. Number one, everybody want to get their headline and always trying to do something unprecedented. This
The notoriety.
this is outrageous. unfortunately, in the history of the world, the assassination of politicians is not particularly new. It's but to us, it's rightly abhorrent. Like, I don't care who you're talking about. This is not how that is supposed to be done. Another example of authoritarianism kind of creeping in, just silence the opposition. In this case, this person was, I believe, just simply just deranged, like, and perhaps a little too hopped up on hype and social media, too isolated from reality, like to oversimplify and be completely coarse. This person needed to like touch grass and put the phone down. This is an example of what can happen when you are radicalized. For
It's
whatever.
interesting you bring that up, because that may have been done entirely on social media.
Yeah.
You often find that with this new breed of people that do this kind of thing, is that's where it starts. And they post their beliefs online. They're encouraged by
Peers.
and you know, people are, do it, motherfucker. Like, and you know, it's because the internet's the fucking absolute wild west of the jungle, man. It take us back 100 years. You talk to 5 people in your whole life. Push us forward to today. Like, you're a citizen of the world via that thing you're holding in your hand. That the flashlight with bad news in it, I call it.
Flashlight with bad news in it. Do I think
this fucking thing,
the murder of politicians by their own party in Minnesota, is a sign of a purge?
To finish off my statement, no.
Okay.
No, to answer the question, Pete, after much ado.
No. That's cool, because I mean, it's thoughtful process there.
I find it interesting that this dude was appointed by the vice presidential candidate of the last election, right? He was appointed to his political position by Tim Waltz, which I thought was very interesting. The guy obviously had a future in politics if you're being appointed by somebody who's running for vice president. And to go off the deep end against his own party, because of, I'm assuming, the way that they voted on a stance to, I think it was to remove public assistance from illegal immigrants was the vote.
Yeah, right? I saw that. And then they showed that tearful video where she felt like, you know, like that she had broke party lines, but felt like she did her duty as an American citizen. I think they connected those two coincidentally. If I was a judge in a trial, I'd be like, that's speculation.
So apparently this guy had a hit list of many politicians on it, including the guy who nominated him, right? A vice presidential candidate, Tim Waltz, I believe, was on the list as well.
Elon Omar, prominent people you've kind of heard of, and a whole bunch more.
Majority leftist, right? And this guy was supposedly a leftist political guy, and lots of no kings protest flyers found in his car. This is all very, very sketchy. They
called in KRyptec.
This, like, I tell you what, this is this has a 3-letter agency written all over it. Political hits, trying to blame it on the other side, right?
But they kind of got caught. This is like when the cops are like, they set up a sting to sell drugs, but then the cops set up a sting to buy drugs. And
they catch each other. Yeah, it's fantastic. That's my favorite. This may be a case of 3-letter agencies trying to start domestic issues and perhaps create or lure out some copycats.
Apparently this fella owned like some sort of like a quasi-private security company or whatever, where he was allowed to have like these vehicles with the flashy lights and the
posed as a police officer, and then man,
weird, dude. But I'm just saying, this is not,
it's coming.
Yeah, this is not the way. Like, what is happening? Like,
so is it a purge?
I don't think so.
Maybe this could be the deep state doing its thing. If you don't agree with the deep state, they will kill you.
I told you Obama was bad news.
If you vote against those party lines, they will send a crazed hitman to your house dressed as a police officer. Right? This is the reality that politicians have to live now.
Right.
We saw it.
Well,
It
didn't
happened.
they also try to go after the Supreme Court justices too?
Yeah.
What,
Yeah,
year
there
before
was a whole
last?
thing
Last
with
year?
that. I think that was stopped before it happened. I mean, you had the attack with Nancy Pelosi's husband there. That was some weird
That's
shit.
another
But
one.
Why are you guys in your
Man,
underwear?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's other questions there too, but
Why are you guys in your? I mean, okay.
More questions than answers, Livingston, man.
We don't have time.
Here's my take on it.
It's fucking
Because
theater, man.
of all the above, honestly, it's a tragedy anytime a human life is taken.
Amen.
100%.
And I'm not going to spend the time or waste the energy trying to figure out the details of it, because they're only going to tell us what they want us to know.
Wrong there.
Therefore, was the murders, I forgot the question, was the murders, the politicians by their own party in Minnesota a sign of a purge? Maybe a purge of human life, but honestly, I don't care, because to me, unless that happened like down the road from my house and they're still looking for this guy, now it's personal. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 0 dark 30 and do what needs to be done. But it sounds to me like it was something that, and I'm gonna use air quotes, planned by somebody other than that guy. Because for your wife to get, or girlfriend, or whoever the heck the female was, to get caught the way she got caught, I don't know about y'all, but if you don't have a ride or die, meaning a female or a wife or whoever she was, she's going to be down for you no matter what. If that was the case, or she would have just left before it even went down. They said what? Passports, money, and a whole bunch of other stuff to continue doing what need to be done. I think it was all a plant and a setup by somebody other than that guy. So therefore, I don't care. I'm more concerned about the sleeper cells in this country and what they may do when Ishmael and Isaac throw the biggest rocks they have at each other. And if they drag us in it.
I'm going to open another rabbit hole inside the rabbit hole here with what you just said. So could this be
biblical prophecy?
No, not biblical prophecy.
Is the Antichrist among us? Is he in the room with us?
No. Where did the Antichrist touch you? No,
only the Lord himself can summon the four of us, and here we are.
There we are. So here's the question. Talking about the social media was planned by someone else. And the sleeper cells, could it be possible a third party, whoever it is, pick your bad guy, China, deep state, chupacabras, identify, manipulate people on the internet and say, you know what, that guy's a little unhinged. Let's work on him and convince him to, I don't know, go and burn a Tesla. Do you think that's going on deliberately, or is this just some general mind meltdown of society that people are behaving like this?
I think it's both.
Okay, so you're going to put me in. There's two kinds of people. And there's people that think that happens and people that don't think that happens. I'm with the people that think that happens. The FBI, at least, perhaps they've worked towards reformation and correcting their image, but for a while there cultivated an image that they kind of like made people do stuff.
They go poke people.
And now you have political action committees and like these sort of people, they come out, they're like, I hate this. You ever watch YouTube and they give you the unskippable ad like this guy Josh Riley? I ain't never even heard of this dude, but they stay hating this motherfucker, bro. They bought 5 years worth of fucking unskippable ads to be like, fuck Josh Riley. And I'm like, I don't even know this guy or what you're even talking about. But they like but then they say like these views are not exactly exclusive of like Josh Riley. So Josh Riley didn't even say that. Just some people who like Josh Riley or hate Josh Riley bought this thing and like made propaganda out of it and pump it to you.
Right.
It's all fake. And you're allowed to be influenced not so much by like the official of it, or the truth of it, let's call it that, but more like just who paid more money to tell you what they think. Attitude. So again, somebody I saw it repeatedly in the comments, follow the money, and yeah, it's the idea. It's money. It's marketing. It's got to sell the war. We got to sell the famine. We got to sell the death. We got to sell the fucking pestilence. You saw them do it every single time. You got it right. Every one of us has been commodified, capitalized, and made into money for people.
Well, they
ourselves.
did it during the last big plague we had in society a few years ago.
Oh yeah,
Right. Absolutely.
Trent should be rich, but no, they treated him like a freaking lower level functionary. Thanks for saving us all that loot, brother. Keep churning out that death. I was like, I'm like the fucking janitor around here. I'm making minimum wage, bro. I just gotta clean up after you three all day. Like, you just
Well, is he a union janitor? Because then
I
he's
come along
making
with my
more.
little backpack vacuum.
Yeah.
The
Suck up the
fucking
humans.
Ghostbuster. Busting makes me feel good.
What was the question again?
Right.
I'm gone right now.
So
I'm gone.
no,
What even
the
is life,
social
bro? Who
media,
cares?
the internet. Could third parties be identifying people and saying that guy, like this guy in Minnesota, maybe he
That's
didn't.
why they invented
They just
my brothers and
poked at him.
sisters.
I agree with the Livingston man. This is done on a daily basis. Not just by foreign state actors, by your own government, by
Firstly,
by
corporations data mining.
corporations are the big ones, right? Those are the biggest ones. All they really want to do is sell you some bullshit, but they are into your private stuff every day, pushing things on you and trying to sway your decisions. And he who pays the advertisers the most typically gets the sale, right? Because they're always putting that item in front of your face until you buy it. You buy it, and then maybe even after you buy it for a little bit.
Yep.
Do I think foreign actors are creating these things via social media? Absolutely. To think that our government is the only one that does it is naive and foolish, and I could pretty much guarantee it's happening, especially in foreign language channels, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not necessarily here. Maybe China is working on some people who are fluent in Mandarin. They're not really working on us English speakers who, they're not looking at us yet. We don't fit the demographic. Pete certainly doesn't fit the demographic. He's Spanish and English, bro, and that's all you're getting, right? You start spitting Chinese at Pete, and he is, I got to put my try and translate.
Chow mein, I know that.
Let's not put it all on Pete. You start talking Chinese to me, I'd be like,
yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Very little, right?
There's two ways you can tell. So there's actually two of them. So when somebody's speaking Chinese to you, it's very like, harsh, like, but Japanese more like, you ever hear, like when they did it on South Park, this is the way you can tell. Like, you speak English.
Like
I am speaking. You speak English. I speak fucking English. Yeah. Two ways to tell.
I'm telling you, you should do stand-up, Mike.
Just let him go. Let him go. Let him cook.
Trent gave up. He's like, I'm done.
All I know is I got semis going north, and that's all that counts.
You guys always say like, "Oh, we're off the rails." I'm like, there was rails.
I had no idea.
I didn't even know.
Is that what that was? Christ, yeah.
Was it? It's like the ends of a bowling alley. It's just the gutters. We kind of fall in and pop back out.
Right.
Slide across.
They put when you suck at bowling, so they put the bumpers in there.
The
like
little
they
bumpers.
Put them,
And they give you the
inflatable-
dinosaurs so you can roll your little ball down.
So honestly, guys, I think if the T-Man doesn't give the go ahead for the bunker busters, right? If he doesn't give the green light and send the big cargo ship that they got to kick the big bomb out of the back of,
You think Israel send us a message?
I do. I think if we don't agree to do it, I think we will see a false flag here. That's Iran did it, right? Bibi already came out and said that the assassination attempts on Trump were sponsored by Iran, right? He came out and said that just the other day. They're grasping at straws over there because they need us, right? And if they don't get us, I am very fearful that something will happen here at home, and it will be blamed on a foreign actor to do it, whether that's kinetic or cyber has yet to be determined, but I think it's coming. And I think if he doesn't make a decision soon, that they are going to maybe tickle the switch just to show them that they mean business. So if I was you, I would get a couple bucks out of the bank and just be prepared, right? Yeah. Be prepared just in case. Yeah. If the banking systems go down, it's happening on a Friday.
Officially, Israel has never confirmed, but is widely, overwhelmingly accepted to possess nuclear weapons attached to what they call allegedly Jericho missiles, which are more or less like they have a global reach. Israel also, whether it's current or not, is secret, but Israel had a leaked nuclear doctrine that they called the Samson option. It's a biblical reference because when faced with the overwhelming odds of the Philistines, Samson pushed the pillars of the temple out from under himself, and if I go, everyone goes. It's a very dangerous nuclear doctrine to have, but given their geopolitical position, is somewhat makes sense, is why like Israel is essentially like a proverbial hornet's nest. But it would seem that in the Israeli government's actions are now expansionist, imperialistic, perhaps even talking about regime change. A lot of things that people came out against when the United States did it, but perhaps maybe we set a precedent. So they are now saying, well, if what's good for the goose is good for the gander. What you do matters in the future because people could possibly look to it and say, well, you guys did it. How can you stand on your pedestal and tell me no when you did that? Unprecedented times lead to absolute chaos because the only end game of unprecedented is like, then fuck it, nothing matters. And the only unprecedented thing is we got to nuke something, and it's creepy. The world and its leaders need to be like taken back from the brink right now, because I kind of feel like this is for me, I felt like this is a Cuban Missile Crisis. It's like, this is what are you guys doing here? Went from electing Trump, America first, to this dude out here. But let's do foreign wars. Let's shoot missiles up everybody's ass. This is like not the thing, man.
Don't forget who his son-in-law is.
Yep.
I forgot who his son-in-law is.
The Jared Kushner connection.
Oh,
the one. No, this is Donald Trump's son-in-law is Jared.
Oh,
Kushner.
that's right. I thought he was related.
He's the one.
To the
he's the one who actually helped broker the Middle East peace deal 4 years ago.
Well, maybe his ass need to go back to work.
Well, he's Israeli. He's Israeli.
Mm-hmm.
So. That's an anti-Semitic trope. All Jews are not like exclusively hold their like loyalty to Israel. Like it's not a thing. Like
yeah, totally, totally not.
Yeah,
totally not.
yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
totally not.
Okay, so
I meant that.
Yeah,
on that topic,
God is not real. Yeah, okay.
And I don't know if you caught this. There were Chinese transports, like their version of a C-130, that flew over international airspace, hit Iran, and went dark, like transponders off. And the president sending the Nimitz to be which was supposed to be decommissioned next year.
Yeah,
into the Sea of Arabia.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on that? You think just pawn pieces being moved around?
China
dropping off goodies?
I mean, okay, so yeah, China had transporters, and as soon as they hit Iranian airspace, they went dark. Yeah, come on. I mean, a blind man could see that those planes, they went dark and then they landed and unloaded who knows what.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe
And then
that.
to be
We do
decommissioned.
it too.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
100%.
This is the most outrageous aspect, especially to this new generation of diplomatic warfare, where like the one guy does the same thing the other guy does to him, and he's like, "How fucking dare you bomb me?" And it's like, "Yeah, well, you bomb me. Like, what the fuck you mean?" Like, it's so fucking stupid when you think about it. And they're trying to justify like a football game. They're like, the refs are coming out, snap flag on the play, can't do that. Israel's like, I don't fucking recognize your jurisdiction here.
Well, and
But they were
what's
like, no.
funny is the night I read that article about the Chinese transports, you go on FlightAware and like there were a bunch of American refueling aircraft going over the
Yeah.
Atlantic to
Oh,
the same
yeah.
area. And I'm like, well,
Yep.
come on
Yeah.
now, guys.
If you're gonna be logical about it, then that's what I mean. You get shaker assault out and throw it at the guy across the room, but we do it too. And I this is the most petty, like irrational aspect of warfare anymore, is the propaganda game where you act indignant. How dare you to shoot my soldiers? But we're like, well, yeah, well, you shooting your soldiers, but it's fucking what different. It's the most irrational thing. What are we, fucking army ants? Okay, we like primitive people that just like. It's not even like going to war over food. Like, it's not like we're going to war over gold. We're going to war because some rich people need to fucking make or spend money that ain't even theirs, dude.
Or they're
Honestly.
angry at another rich guy and they have a beef.
Yeah.
Back in the day, like all the European conflict, all these, you read into like World War I and you start to realize all these motherfuckers were cousins, bro. They're straight up related. It was just a family feud. Yeah. And they sent the peasants to do it for them.
Like 2 million deaths later. And
Yeah.
Are you done, Ludwig? I don't think so, Bartholomew. You're like, fuck you, man. But when the peasants rise up, all of a sudden, it's like, we can't have this. We can't have this shit.
Yeah,
what was it?
says,
The Tsar, the King of England, and the Archduke
Yeah.
were all related? Is that
All
right?
Fam. Straight fam.
Like,
Straight
they were
Family
cousins. Like,
reunions, barbecues, the whole nine. Yeah.
Playing like a chess game with the peasants. Boy, oh boy.
yeah, no kidding.
What do you think? Does this sound familiar? Is anything I'm saying like ringing a bell at all? Can you ring the bell, please? Thank you.
If you'd have broken the bell on that one, I think I'd have fallen out my chair. Where it gets screwed up. Tink!
And that's why I didn't do that first.
That's right.
Yeah.
Don't kill the bell.
Every
Okay,
time
so-
he does that, like a truck pulls up outside.
Yeah, we delivered 24/7.
Made in
Okay.
Ohio. It
Last
says.
rabbit
Stay
hole
on it.
question. What are we being distracted from?
I'll tell you right now. Oh, like I saw this question before you put it up. What we're being distracted from is exactly what I was just talking about, although I was kind of joking and getting laughs about it, is that the tiny minority who owns all the things and has all the money and all the power needs to cling to it, because they are absolutely, like, on a scale of like 8 billion to like 300 outnumbered. And if all of us small people realize, not with pride and not with malice particularly, but with like a common goal that we are all on this planet and all stuck here and all dealing with the same issues, when we stop getting talked down to by this massive, hyper powerful elite, that we, the people, would do better for this planet than what we are being sold right now. That's what you're being distracted from. Anything but not profits for the rich guy. It's all it is. We are hyper capitalized. People would rather eat their money. They think they can. They think they're going to take it to hell with them when they go. You're not. It's hoarding. It's a psychological behavior. These people are hoarding resources. They're hoarding housing. They're hoarding access to healthcare. They're hoarding the means of existence for themselves and doling it out to you for your back, your hips, your knees, your time, your energy, your graduations with your children, your time at home with your wife, all of it. They're sapping the life from you so they can absorb it and go on another vacation. That is what you're being distracted from.
So like a global level bread and circuses.
They're clinging to power and their desperate moves show it. Keep up the resistance to it, please.
Wow, it's hard to follow that one. What do you think, guys?
Damn.
I'm done. Ring the bell.
Yeah, that was
that was it. Right there.
Livingston, man, was pretty spot on. I have to agree with you wholeheartedly. I think we are being distracted from the financial chaos that is occurring here.
The exploitation, the human product that you have unwittingly become in this system, that is the idea. We have to keep them docile and productive. You're just dairy cattle.
Yeah, well, it's the you have to go to work, you have to come home, you have to you got just enough time to get, maybe take a shower tonight. Maybe take a shower tonight before you go to bed, and then get up tomorrow and do it all again the same way, and run the rat race until you die to hopefully have a few vacation days, right? And make somebody extremely rich who's not you or your family. I think Livingston Man's right. I think a financial reckoning is coming in this country. I think a housing market shakeup is coming to this country. Things are just way too overpriced, and folks can't afford it. Folks can't afford it. You can't afford the $85,000 new pickup truck, right?
Yeah,
$85,000 if you want something nice. They used to be 60. Now they're 85.
Hell, 40, 50. You used to get a really good truck.
Yeah.
$1 million is the old like
$250,000.
$150,000.
Yeah.
100's the new 20. Let's put it that way.
It really is. It really is. And I think it's going to continue, man. I think it's going to get a lot worse, especially with these wars.
Has the money become worth less? Yes, but has the products that I have to purchase with it also become less quality? Also, yes.
Also, yes.
So you're paying more for less.
This sounds sustainable. I think this is an idea we should all get behind. Said no one. Ever.
We're in a house, a move-in condition around here. You're sitting around 450, 500,000 for something move-in condition. The average consumer can't afford that.
No.
So there's a reckoning that's going to happen. All of the city folks came up with their city money and bought up all the places, and now they're trying to put them on the market to cash in for $750,000 on their $250,000 purchase, and they're getting it. I think they're getting it from big corporations, and I think they are hoarding housing on purpose to create a false shortage,
artificial scarcity. It's a thing.
Yeah, create a false shortage, and then
I don't think it's the Airbnb types. Even a private owner, if he does really well and is smart, maybe get a handful of houses.
Yeah, maybe he pays them off and owns them free and clear. If
he makes the tenants pay the mortgage when in fact he is the one actually broke motherfucker.
But when you go look at the corporations, they can buy up whole subdivisions and not blink an eye. $1 billion of homes.
Okay, so there's two things that happen with this. I'm going to school you guys to some new shit that maybe you didn't think of. It's back to the data mining. So the corporations like BlackRock, especially the most notorious, they buy up the housing, they buy up the real estate, and then they hold it down. And so what you do is then you go like, you're housing deprived. So you apply online, you got to enter all this information. And they do the same thing with like, we're now hiring, get on your LinkedIn, right? You're trying to find a job online. So you put in all this information and then you get back the inevitable response. sorry, we've decided to go with another candidate on this, or sorry, your application has been denied. But what you can't get back is the data that you gave
them.
your name, your address, all this stuff.
Yeah, they sold it all.
What is actually beneficial to them is they're making passive income, because all they're doing is hoarding a resource, forcing you to apply for it, selling your data, making money. And they don't have to do anything but nothing. That's the truth about what's going on. You'd be surprised the nefarious and unorthodox and unethical methods people will choose to make money.
Damn.
It's the root of all evil. I don't know who said that, Jesus or something. But yeah.
The love of money. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But, by all means, everybody stack your gold bars, and yeah, there it is. And your crypto. But,
yeah,
you're not evil. You're not evil.
There was a time, I want to say it was just after the 2008 housing crisis in the city of Hudson. If you could show proof that you had enough money in the bank to refurbish one of the homes in the city of Hudson that was reclaimed by the city and condemned, they would literally sign the deed over to you and give it to you.
Yeah.
Those places are going for $1 million+ right now.
That's wild.
It's shoddy smash and grab work. They fucked a lot of these buildings up with their flipper mentality on historic buildings.
Yeah.
A thing that Hudson suffers from that's not talked about.
Lack of licensed contractors.
And I'm not going to get into them. I was about to mention the Galvan Foundation, but do your research. Talk about them.
For me, I think we are being distracted from the biggest.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Housing
Thank you.
crash that is going to be 4 to 5 times worse than what happened in 2008. And that's why we see the apartment building 15-minute cities exploding. There was an old factory in my old neighborhood where I grew up at that they tore it down. And I told my son, I said, watch, they're going to build apartments there.
Here in upstate New York, they call that affordable housing. And then if they even build it, it's not affordable.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what they're doing. And the first level has retail space. And then above it are apartments that probably start anywhere from 1,200 on up.
Yep.
And that's affordable housing.
As long as they can take your whole Social Security check every month and you have no other money for anything else, that's what they're happy with.
Yep.
It's a hoarding mentality.
It's
again, they're making
it's interesting, man. Yeah. It's interesting because they're using like casino mentality. Yeah. Right? Where they put everything in one building, pump it full of fucking oxygen so that you have to go down. I gotta play the lottery. I don't care if it's 2:00 in the morning. I'm going to play my numbers. And you're going to go play your numbers at 2:00 in the morning because you can, right? And because, they're open 24/7 now because, you got to spend that paper and we need to keep this facility maintained. So you got to spend your money here and they will offer you incentives, I'm sure, to spend your money within your own community and not elsewhere, right? So everything is going to be cheaper for you if you live there. And the outsiders that come in are going to pay different prices.
I've seen it happen in Hudson. I called it a incestual economy where it doesn't particularly trickle down. Instead, it's just recirculated amongst the top. You know how like the toilet won't flush and like the turds are just floating at the top like this?
That's what it looks like.
And none of it if you've ever watched us perform before, you'll know that I can't stand the term trickle down economics because it just really just
the turds trickle down, right?
I'm just getting pissed on and
no, they tease you. The turd goes down, then it comes right back up.
So what you do when you're in property maintenance is like you flush the toilet, turd went down, out the room. All right, ran when I parked it. Fuck it. It came back up. No, I wasn't there. I didn't see that.
Well, gentlemen, we are at that 1 hour mark, and
Awesome.
like I said, I figured these would be these would get us thinking without a doubt.
Oh, totally.
We got to do a marathon stream one time where we just do like some fucking Jerry's telethon shit. We're just drinking Red Bulls and just like just go down these rabbit holes instead of like we're gonna have to move on.
Well, you know what we do is
We're gonna
schedule
filibuster up in here.
2 hours per channel and just jump from channel to channel.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, you mean 2 hours per channel?
Right.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
like
yeah.
2 hours on
Man.
trends,
4
on
times
vision,
2 is
I'm
8.
gonna do like
so
costume
8
changes.
hours.
or
Yeah,
1 hour each. Do a 4
2
hour,
hours.
like
2 hours each.
2 hours a piece. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, rabbit holes.
I like that.
Or
Scott,
better yet,
Scott,
here's the thing.
I think we
Do
all
you
got
guys
demonetized
think
tonight.
We could pull off a 24-hour prepper marathon.
Yes, I could. I'm down. I'll sit right.
Listen,
fuck here.
I
see
think-
me a bag of Taco Bell, a fucking 18 pack. Like it's gonna get progressive.
So I think
Worse.
the prepper
Okay.
movement is global enough that
We could get the guys in Argentina.
listen, man, Argentina, Australia,
Leandro,
the
yeah.
folks in the UK,
South
there are
Africa.
so many people throughout the world into
We could
preparedness.
cross time zones. We're going live across the whole world.
Yeah, we're preppers across the world. Let's do it, man. That would be awesome. If
That's
you are
so
in
around the world.
a foreign nation
If
and you
each
are
of us did
listening to
6
this
hours,
podcast,
Let
chime in.
Let me speak to the whoever the hell is farthest away from us. But I want to speak
Australia.
I want to speak to the Mongolians and the Australians.
Mongolia.
They're monks. They don't speak.
Yeah,
They just
no,
look at it.
they're quiet.
They're
They
just
just
like,
watch and type in the chat.
It's a fucking
Hands across.
Mongolians.
Yeah, but preppers across America savagely. That's what I'm
Yes.
talking about. We can
Hands
do it.
across the world, dude. All right. So if each of us did 6 hours, we could do a 24-hour live stream.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't know about sitting here and just holding my shit together for 6 hours.
So that's the whole thing.
That's
You
hard.
don't. What you need to do is invite guests
Yep.
and do like 6 different
Let's
guests.
drop a live link.
An
with the
hour
StreamYard
each.
thing. All right.
Yeah,
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
We should. We're gonna. I would love to explore this. I want to take this further.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, we need-
We're gonna
'cause-
break the internet.
Because I had the guys come up from Argentina, and there's
Yeah.
one in Spain. I bet we can get. So there's 2 international time zones.
Yep, funky
can get
funky
Guardian
prepper. I think is in the
South
UK.
Africa.
Yep,
We can
Guardian
get
in
Swedish,
South
right.
Africa.
Swedish Scout.
Isn't
I need
Outback over in Australia?
Yep.
I'm gonna need
Yep.
a
We got a
catheter.
few different people in Australia.
There's got to be someone in
No,
Hawaii.
you could totally take breaks and walk away. You're gonna have guests.
I'll just
that
drill a
can-
hole in the floor and put a funnel in it.
Yeah, nobody wants to see that. That's terrible.
We don't have to.
He's
see
gonna
it.
have
You
a
can't see it.
portable urinal.
I'm not even wearing pants. Can't tell. Just put the clip-on tie on.
On that note,
Look
it's
like
time
it.
for me to go.
All right. So, guys,
Exactly.
closing words of wisdom. I'll leave it to y'all.
Put 2 shakers of salt in your EDC and throw them in the face of everything you see these days. Out.
Let's see. I would say make sure your inventory and your preps. Make sure you have an exit strategy just in case. Keep some cash on hand, right? Because we never know. Everything's digital nowadays, and when the card don't work, you don't get, right, unless you have the Benjamins. So make sure you got some cash. Make sure you got it broken up into smaller denominations, 120s and then 100 and singles, 5s and 10s is not a bad idea. Because like we said, 100 is the new 20. So at least you'd be able to fill up your car and grab a little bit of fresh produce before you go, scapping down all your freeze-dried meals when the apocalypse hits. And keep abreast of local things. I think that's the biggest that's the biggest thing for right now. Keep abreast of local things, but don't forget about the international stuff and those trigger events, man. Make sure you guys know what's going to be the thing that makes you get GTFO, right?
Yeah.
Make sure you know.
You will be pissed on from a great height. You will be pissed on from a great height.
I'm 6'3".
Well, here's like trucks backing in. Like,
Yeah.
easy trend.
Stay aware, folks. Stay aware.
Yes. Stick to the necessities, y'all. We all have wants and dreams. Stick to the necessities that are going to sustain you and your family. Make your list. Check it 3 times. And keep an eye on your alternatives, what you could do if A, B, and C turns into D, E, and F. Other than that, keep prepping, y'all.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, gentlemen, with no further ado, I'm going to do the video and sign us all out. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining all of us. And next week is who? The Livingston Man.
The Livingston Man. Welcome to your the dive bar performance. It's like when Kiss shows up to play at like your local Denny's. All right. So you don't want to miss this one.
You're not wrong.
Oh, man. All right, folks. Well, gentlemen, we will see you all next week.
Timmy. TCU at South Bay going to Bay Harbor Hospital, 923045.
Alpha team, this is Echo team. Level 1 is clear. Copy that, Echo. Proceed with caution.